Okay, so we're picking up where we left off from last time. We are on Genesis 16. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him, but she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarah said to Abram, "The Lord had prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her." And Abram agreed with Sarai's proposal. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened the 10th year after Abram settled in the land of Canaan. So Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress Sarai with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abram, "This is all your fault. I put the servant into your arms, but now she is pregnant and treating me with contempt. The Lord will show you who's wrong, you or me." Abram replied, "Look, she is your servant. Deal with her as you see fit." Then Sarai treated Hagar harshly, and she finally ran away. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness, along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, "Hagar, Sarai's servant, where are you coming from, and where are you going?" "I'm running away from my mistress Sarai," she replied. The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit to her authority." Then he added, "I will give you more descendants than you can count." The angel also said, "You are now pregnant, and you will give birth to a son, and you will name him Ishmael," which means God hears. "For the Lord has heard your cry of distress. This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist at everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against his relatives." Therefore, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord who had spoke to her. She said, "You are the God who sees me." She also said, "I have truly seen the one who sees me." So that well was named Beer-Lahai-roi, which means the living one who sees me. It can still be found between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave Abraham a son. Abram named him Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. Now we're going to Genesis 17. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am El Shaddai, God Almighty. Serve me faithfully and live a blameless life. I will make a covenant with you, by which I will guarantee to give you countless descendants." At this, Abram fell on his face on the ground. Then the Lord said to him, "This is my covenant with you. I will make you the father of a multitude of nations. Once more I have changed your name. It will no longer be Abram. Instead, I will call you Abraham, for you will be the father of many nations. I will make you extremely fruitful. Your descendants will become a mighty nation, and kings will be amongst them. I will confirm my covenant with you and your descendants after you, from generation to generation. This is the everlasting covenant. I will always be your God, and you will always be and the God of your descendants after you. I will give you the entire land of Canaan, where you live now, as foreigners. To you and your descendants it will be theirs, possessions forever, and I will be their God." Then God said to Abram, "Your responsibility is to obey the terms of this covenant. You and all the descendants will have this continual responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male amongst you must be circumcised. You must cut off the flesh of their foreskin as a sign of my covenant between me and you, from generation to generation. Each male child must be circumcised on the 8th day after birth. This applies not only to the members of your family, but also to the servants born into your household and from the foreign-born servants whom you have purchased. All must be circumcised. Your bodies will bear the mark of the everlasting covenant. Any male who fails to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for breaking the covenant. Then God said to Abram, "Remember Sarai your wife, and her name will no longer be Sarai, for her name will be Sarah, and I will bless her and give her a son. Yes, I will bless her richly, and she will become the mother of many nations. Kings of nations will be amongst her descendants." Then Abram bowed down to the ground because he laughed to himself in disbelief. How could I become a father at the age of 100? He thought, and how can Sarai have a baby? She is 90 years old. So Abram said to God, "May Ishmael live under your special blessing." But God replied, "No. Sarah, your wife, will give birth to a son for you. You will name him Isaac. I will confirm my covenant with him and his descendants as an everlasting covenant. As for Ishmael, I will bless him also, just as you have asked. I will make him extremely fruitful and multiply his descendants. He will become the father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will be confirmed with Isaac, whom will be born to you and Sarah." About this time, the next year, when God had finished speaking and left Abram, on that very day, Abram took his son Ishmael, and every male in his household, including the ones born there to those he had bought. Then he circumcised them, cutting off their foreskin as God has told him. Abram was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and Ishmael, his son, was 13. Both Abram and his son Ishmael were circumcised on that day, along with the other men and boys in their household, whether they were born or bought as servants. All were circumcised with him. And we are going to stop there, and we will pick back up next time. That was the end of Genesis 17:27. So when we come back, we will continue at Genesis 18.